To understand what had happened in Lebanon, what made it such a dangerous place filled with conflict and war, it had been the scene of incredible battles between the Israeli Defense Force, which pushed into the country from the south and fighting against Yasser Arafat's PLO forces. And as they were driven back out of southern Lebanon, as the PLO was driven out, and the Israelis moved up, there was a lot of destruction. And when the Israelis got to the center of Beirut, which was called the Green Line, they stopped there, and Arafat's forces had been forced by way of a ceasefire agreement to be broken apart and removed from Lebanon and dispersed all over the Middle East. There was a international force that included Americans that had come to Lebanon, but were not really deployed. They were just in encampments. The American embassy in Beirut had been bombed. Over 60 people had been killed. The whole embassy building was no longer in use. The few American diplomats and the ambassador who remained operated out of the ambassador's residence, which was up at the top of a hill in Beirut. So this is the country as I get set to enter it, escorted by a couple of UN civil servants both from Great Britain, who are going to take me and show me the UNRWA camps and schools and medical facilities in this war-torn, devastated place. The Israelis had pulled out. A local force that was friendly to them sort of occupied southern half of Lebanon. We made our way through that. We stopped to see bombed out schools, and I noticed in the schools the floors were so thick, 5, 6, 7, 10 times as thick as anything you might expect. And some people point out and said the reason for that is that the PLO build their bunkers under UN schools. And so if the Israelis want to attack their military command bunkers, they have to hit and destroy a school, creating propaganda. So we get to the heart of Beirut. The Green Line is just a scene of an unbelievable destruction. Looks like photos I had seen of Dresden in World War II. Just total destruction. There were reports of massacres that had taken place. Were taken to the scenes of that. And then we passed through, and on the other side, life for sort of ordinary Lebanese seemed not so different or so terrible, kind of life going on. And the two UN employees said, well, tomorrow we're going north. You don't have to go with us, but that's up there is where the Syrians are, the Syrian military. There are warlords. There are reports of Hezbollah, the Iranian-influenced people coming over. There's this open town of Tripoli. And then we'd have to go through PLO checkpoints to get into the UN schools north of Tripoli. So we want you to know. And it was up to me what I was going to do. The embassy sort of wasn't even really aware I was going to be around. I was coming, brought there by the UN, and I said, yes, yeah, I want to go. I'm going to go with you. And it would be an incredible experience that would be seared in my memory forever and would bring me to points of incredible danger, where I thought I would never get out, as well as extraordinary reporting opportunity. Again, in the job that had been described as the worst job in the entire Foreign Service.